I don't remember the last time I made a beat for fun. That's just not a thing anymore. Like, what is up? It's your boy L.Dre. Welcome back to the channel. How are you? Okay, that is great, or I hope you get better. I just wanted to have this little chat one-on-one with you to discuss 5 things that I wish I knew before I became a music producer. I get tons of questions around this topic. A lot of people just need guidance or have questions and need answers, and I hope I can address however you may be feeling about your career or potential career choice. I've been a full-time producer since 2020, so it's been like 3 years. I was fortunate enough to quit my 9-to-5 right before the pandemic happened. I remember because I quit like the day before Valentine's Day because I put my 2 weeks in, but then I was like, I wanted to take off Valentine's Day and take my girl out, like a celebration kind of thing. So I just told him, look, I'm just out of here. So all that to say, I have a bit of experience on this topic. Now we're gonna start off on a very positive note, but towards the end, it might get a little heavy. Let's start with this fun one. Number 1, equipment doesn't really matter at all, especially in the beginning. I get tons of questions about what gear should I get? I wanna start making beats, but I don't know what I need to buy, or I don't have money for a laptop, or this and that. And I was just like that. When I first started producing, I would see all these producers with these big studios and all these cool gear, all these MIDI keyboards and studio panels and all that kind of stuff. And I felt like that's the kind of stuff you needed to get good quality work. And not to say that any of that stuff is worthless, but I find that a lot of people kind of use that as a crutch to hold them back from just starting. And truthfully, just starting with what you have is the best way to start. Like me personally, I started making beats on an iPod Touch using like GarageBand iOS, Nano Studio, all these different apps. Because at the end of the day, when you start off, your beats are gonna be trash regardless. So it doesn't really matter what you're making beats on because you're just learning. So don't let any of that stuff hold you back. The same goes for if you're trying to do videos or whatever. Like starting with whatever camera you have is always gonna work out because the whole point is you're starting. A lot of people fail before they even start. I'm at a point where I have everything I could possibly need. I get stuff sent to me for free all the time. But at the end of the day, like I hardly use any of my gear. Half the time I'm on my couch with just my laptop, making beats with just the keyboard on the laptop as a MIDI. So truthfully, I can say from experience, the equipment you use is not top priority at all. Number 2, there are so many different ways to make money in music. When I first started producing, I really only knew of 2 ways, and that was running around, jumping from studio to studio, email to email, trying to get placements, and 2, selling beats on BeatStars. That's kind of like the only 2 avenues I saw for myself that I really could think of. And when I started selling beats online, I thought the best way to do that was to build an audience of people to buy beats from me. So that's when I started posting myself making beats on Instagram every day. But what ended up happening was I ended up building an audience of producers, not rappers. And that kind of led to the kind of influencer type career where I started making content, YouTube videos. Eventually I started getting brand deals. And then I also started releasing my music on streaming platforms. And all these other avenues started opening themselves up to me to where now I don't sell beats or work with artists at all. And I'm still able to do this stuff full time. And it goes just beyond that. Like you don't have to be an influencer content creator. You can do sync licensing. You can do like sound design for video games or movies, or if you're good with instruments, you can be a session musician in like bands or whatever it may be. When Kendrick Lamar is doing a show and he's got somebody playing live drums, that drummer's got to be getting paid pretty well, right? So if you're really considering music as a career path and you're thinking about the money of it, just do some research and just understand that there's a bunch of different avenues that you can put yourself into. Piggybacking off of that, on to number 3, it's about to get a little heavy, so brace yourself. Being a full-time music producer is way more work than I thought before I started. It could even be a lot more work than most 9-to-5s. Because at the end of the day, if you're working for yourself, you're an entrepreneur, you're self-employed, and everything you do relies on you. The entire business is on your back, and you actively just have to keep working and working if you want to get paid. Because at the end of the day, there's no 9-to-5 guaranteed salary. So before I got into music and I was working at like a deli or something, I would just go to work, clock in, do what I gotta do, work, whatever it may be. And then when I clock out, I'm free. I'm going home, I'm watching TV, I'm playing games, hanging out with friends, whatever it may be, until I have to go back to work. But in this life that I've created for myself, unless you're really good at scheduling, which I am not, for me, it's a constant struggle and a constant battle against procrastination and just laziness that is embedded into my DNA. Because when I wake up, I have to consciously decide to get things done, because I could easily just sleep all day or play games all day, but then at some point the money's gonna stop coming in, and that is no bueno. So for me, it's like I'm kind of always in work mode. I try to like take the weekends off and kind of schedule myself as an actual job, but at the end of the day, if I don't finish something at 6 o'clock, then I could be working all night until 2 a.m. or something until it's done, as opposed to being at a 9 to 5. If it's 6 o'clock and you haven't finished whatever needs to be done that day, you just go home and you just come back the next day and continue. So that is definitely something to think about, and something I wish I knew beforehand. But again, I love my life. I wouldn't trade this for the world. But the fact of the matter is, like, people are different. Not everybody is built the same. Some people really like the idea of a guaranteed salary every 2 weeks, and other people might be okay risking it, because if you are self-employed, there's like no ceiling. You know what I'm saying? If you're the boss, there's no ceiling, there's no cap on the money you can make, but it's all up to you to get things done and to go out there and get that money, dude. So with that, we get to number 4, and we're still a little heavy. Number 4 is, I wish I knew that this can kind of become more of a job than a hobby. So like I said in number 3, once you get into the business sides of things and making music an actual career, you have to hold yourself accountable and get things done to be able to pay your bills. And this is where I'm gonna get super honest with you guys. I don't remember the last time I made a beat for fun. That's just not a thing anymore. Like making beats for fun is non-existent. There used to be times back in the day I'll get home from school and be like, yeah, let me chill and make a beat. Oh, I heard this sample in the radio today. Let me get home and sample that. I'm so excited. That is no more, bro. It's gotten to the point where like I'm making music for a purpose. So for example, on the music streaming side of my business, there's all, there's the Spotify algorithm, there's the TikTok algorithm. You gotta post this amount for people to even see you. You gotta release this amount in advance so you can pitch to Spotify playlists and all these kind of things. So it's like, all right, now I gotta be on a release schedule. Do I have something? No. Do I have any ideas that could go viral on TikTok, or do I have any ideas to promote this and that? Blah, blah, blah. That's what it kind of becomes, and it's no longer just sitting down making music for fun. That being said, when you are sitting down to make those music, it is fun. Like making music is fun, but it's no longer like a thing I do for fun, if that makes sense. Because now in my free time, when I'm not working on anything related to music, I'm just chilling, watching TV with my wife, playing Zelda on the Nintendo Switch. I'm doing anything outside of music. So that's something you should heavily consider before getting into this. If music for you is a hobby or a career, because it could very well just be a hobby. You don't really need to force anything you love to be your career. Sometimes in this capitalistic society, it is okay to get a regular job, have a steady income, and then have fun outside of that. But let's wrap this up on a positive note with number 5. Following your dreams can be the most fulfilling thing ever when it pays off. So back when I was grinding and doubting myself all the time, I wish I would have known the type of impact I could have. For example, I went to the NAMM convention. If you don't know what NAMM is, it's a music convention, tons of nerds like us just geeking out over music stuff. And so many people came up to me telling me, thank you for what I do. Your videos help me a lot. Your music helps me a lot. You're a huge inspiration. All this kind of stuff that I never really think about, because you get so in your head about the numbers, the subscribers, the this and that, you forget that these are real people watching your videos, and the music could be getting them through tough times in their lives. Or like my producer content and my music marketing content could really be helping people make certain decisions that help their career and give them the inspiration to continue their path. Because I like to stress all the time, I'm just a regular dude, grew up in South Central, you know what I'm saying, in the hood, helicopters every night, I lived in a garage, blah, blah, blah. Humble beginnings, so if I could do it, why can't anybody else? And all the messages I've received, like, thank you, oh, this got me through this is my daughter's favorite song, blah, blah, blah. Like, all that stuff is super touching, and that's the kind of stuff that keeps me going. And it gives my heart just like a sense of fullness, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but the fact that I had a vision back all those years in the garage when I was just grinding, going to my 9 to 5, coming home and working my ass off all night just to wake up and do it again. And to know that all that stuff really paid off and that I am now like living the life that I always dreamt of, it's actually quite insane. So again, those last two heavy ones, like they might come off a little discouraging, but I just wanted to give you guys the reality and not just a dream. A lot of people will sell you this lifestyle of just carefree, freedom, no boss, blah, 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 having fun, making beats all day, especially the placement producers posting up with their Lamborghini Urus and all their chains and all this kind of stuff. Like they sell you a lifestyle that looks really cool, but it's actually very difficult to obtain and even more difficult to maintain. But if you truly feel in your heart that this is what you're meant to do and this is what you really want to do, if you stick with it, stay consistent, once it pays off, it feels incredible. And in my personal opinion, all the downsides are 100% worth it. So yeah, that's my speech. That's my ramble. You guys know I don't use scripts. So if that helped you out, let me know in the comments, or if anybody else has any advice, you guys chat it up in the comments. Just chat it up. We're a community here. Much love. I wish you nothing but success. Thanks for watching. More videos coming soon. Peace.